Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to be with you again. I hope you are well. I'm just going to start looking at some color combos, picking up pencils and seeing what we're going to do. Decided to color in Symphony of Cute Animals, and I'm going to use mixed media, so I want to test Inktense pencils on this paper. And I've also got my Black Widows because I do like how they work. And I've got my Prismas because Prismas are just pretty standard. They're just great. They really are just great. Okay, so the page I'm going to do is this one. I really liked this page. And I'm seeing sort of like white across right here, maybe some terracotta over here. We can do the ducks. I want to do these ducklings yellow. I'm not sure yet. Might make that one white. I'm not sure. So we've got flowers we can play with and all sorts of things. I don't know yet about the door, but we'll figure that out. I also have my palettes by Caran d'Ache, and I'm going to use that to kind of pick up the Inktense as we go. Or I might actually just color straight on. We'll see. Hi Noelle, how are you? Right, and I'm also going to probably base the ground here and maybe go over that with pencils. Sorry if I cough, it's just because I'm not quite over the fluish cold I had last week, so I still do get a bit of a scratchy throat. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a base layer of leaf green on the grass, and I think I'm going to put some baked earth on these pots. So we're just pulling out some pencils. Alright, so just, yeah, I'm not doing too badly, thank you. It's just been a rough while. Got one kid down with a cold, the other one has a chest infection. I have a lot going on, but you know, we're trying to just have a positive attitude and chin up kind of thing, and just take it one step at a time, really. So I want to use storm dust for these pots here. I think that will look quite good. And so I want to use like earthy browns for the brickwork. So maybe we could use some tan and some willow. I'll get out a few. So tan, willow, maybe some madder brown, and then I do need like a nice brown. Oh, we could use a natural brown and a burnt umber. I always find I forget the new colors. But natural brown and burnt umber. Alright, we'll start with that and then I will see how it goes. So what I need now is some water, which I don't have. I've got paintbrushes and I've got pencils, but no nothing else. Okay, so I've got a couple paintbrushes here just for some finer details. I'm just going to quickly go get some water. I'm so sorry. I won't be too long. Nothing, don't worry. No, it's fine. Okay, I have water. Sorry about that. Okay. So I really loved this picture. I thought it was such a nice picture. And I haven't actually tested the Inktense pencils yet. So this is going to be really, really fabulous. All right, I'm going to come in and do these vases here. So I'm just going to zoom you in. Try to get you as close in as I can. Okay. And I've got a paper towel. And if you've watched my one video, I think it was in Mythographic Magical Earth, I painted the entire page with Derwent Inktense pencils, so we can sort of do the same here. Hi Kenny, how are you? So the idea with this is you really just start light and you build up your shadows. Sometimes painting is just so fun. And we can always go and deepen things in with pencil. Because if you look here closely, you can see it's actually bubbling. Which means my method actually probably won't work. I'll have to try and just put the pencil straight on and see. Thanks Kenny, I'm glad you're well. I'm on the mend. Been much better this week than I was last week, but still not 100%. I got a slight niggle, and then as I was saying a bit earlier on, I've got a few of the kids are down with coughs and colds, and I've got the one down with a chest infection. But I'm sure it will clear. We've got him started on antibiotics, so just one step at a time, one thing at a time. No, it's not a double page, it is a single page. But it is a really lovely page. Oh, I tell you, it is hard when they're sick and when we're sick. I think we just need summer now. Just some heat and warmth, and then an excuse to go to the beach and just have the seaside. So the wet on wet going on here, which really is great. Right, so I'm liking this. Oh, yum, your snack sounds delish. I made a soup for supper, so just a vegetable soup with some leftover chicken on the side. That was our dinner. So just come along here. I think I will probably go over this with pencil. It's definitely not going to be the kind of paper I would put a lot of layers on. I think it's bubbling quite a bit. But I am hoping that if I do a bit of color like this, it will just make this a little bit faster. I love looking at Black Annery on Instagram. She does a lot of artwork with watercolor paints, and it's just incredible what she does. I'm trying to help my eldest son with his art project. He chose a landscape with a water feature, and he decided he wanted to try paint it in oil painting, so in oils. And I don't have a lot of experiences with oil paint, so between the two of us we're trying to just do something nice for him. But shame, with him being sick, he hasn't been able to really do too much on it, and it's supposed to be due in a couple of weeks. But I said to him, you mustn't worry, you know, right now we just want to get him better. If nothing else, we can just do it as a summer project. And then I was contacted by a digital art company. They sell a lot of digital prints, wanting to promote all their work. Now, I haven't researched them much because I haven't had time, but as far as I can see, they're AI generated images. So at some point I need to message them back and say, no, thank you, because I don't actually want to support AI generated images. I want to support artists who use their skill, and I prefer hand-drawn artwork anyway. Like, I get the whole argument that there's a place for AI and all of that, but I definitely don't believe that we should have AI replacing our art and our music. It's, for me, I just don't like it. There's something about creativity that I think needs to be kept for people, and they have the freedom to create and have an outlet, a creative outlet, and also, you know, make a living off it if that is something that is what they pursue, or something that they want to pursue. I think that people should have that option. But, you know, if you can give me something that's like robotic and can do my washing for me, or vacuum the house, and then I can switch it off when I'm done, and well, I'll happily talk about that. But when it's art, I'm like, no, just don't mess with that. That is a human space. We need it for well-being and, yeah, just expressing ourselves. Anyway, that's just like sort of where my mind is going at the moment with AI. That's not to say that I think people who use AI are doing a disservice. I just have an opinion, and that's my opinion, subject to change. But right now, I don't want to support that. Yeah, exactly. It should be labeled as AI generated and not passed off as someone's art. Oh, can you imagine robots going amok? Hi, Carly. You know, when I go and look at I don't know, you go to like the amphitheater or some of these wonders of the world, and, you know, it's like amazing artwork. Or even if I go and look in an art gallery, I'm just absolutely blown away by the creativity and the artistry over the years. And then when we get to contemporary art, I really struggle. And I'm not saying it's not artistic, I'm just saying I'm not good with contemporary art. I struggle to understand it, and I think it's because what they do is they do a lot of those installations, and because my brain struggles to see the big picture just in general, I can't walk into an installation and necessarily experience the full impact. It needs to be something a bit more that I can walk around and I can, or more like a story. If it's a story, I can be immersed in it. But if it's just some big like frame, I get lost with it. And then you go into things like Picasso, and then I start struggling because I don't understand it. And I really just love the more pre-impressionist sort of stuff. I mean, Van Gogh is probably the more modern that I can enjoy. But I look at all of that and I just think humanity is capable of so much artistry. I don't see the point in using things like AI to take that away from us. If anything, I'm saying, can we return to that a level of detail and just beauty? But yeah, I just love that style of art. So I'm probably a bit biased there. And no offense meant to anyone who loves contemporary art or does contemporary art or appreciates it. I am attempting Inktense Inktense, but it's starting to buckle. So I don't think this method I'm using is going to work on this paper. I'm going to try and finish this, and then I'm going to move on to using the pencil straight onto the paper. I wonder if that might be a little bit better. And then if it is, I'm going to do a bit more on that. If not, I'm just going to swap to pencils. I did have an alcohol marker, but I'm not convinced it's working anymore, and I don't have a blender pen. So I'm going to try this a different way. So I'm going to use the Inktense pencil just straight on. And I'll just lighten up as I go around. And we'll see if this works a bit better. If it doesn't work, it's fine. I'll do something else. It's not a problem. I suppose you could even dip the pencil into the water and then try. Now here it's going to be quite a bit darker. It's a bit more hidden. Oh, you bought distress inks. Cool. Yes, it is a learning curve. I haven't perfected it. If anything, actually, I'm a bit put off with distress inks because I can't master them. Just make a mess. And then I look at all these beautiful paintings or colorings done with distress inks in the background, and then I start pining and get jealous because I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, but I just struggle to get the hang of it. I do think it might be the applicator I use. I might not need to change applicators. All right, I think this works a bit better. Okay, so Inktense pencil on a palette, and then painting on is not as effective with Inktense. Inktense works better on this paper, color straight and then blend it out with a paintbrush and some water. So there we go. We have tested it and found a better solution. Hi Mabe, how are you? I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Oh wow, okay, Tombow blender pens. I'll have a look and see if I can get one. Thanks for the tip. I will have a look. Hopefully I can get one and then I'll give it a bash. Oh, excuse me. Oh wow, okay, so you used a soft oval makeup brush for the distressings. I have heard of a few people doing that. It's probably worth a shot. I only have 4 colors and they're not the oxide, they're just the regular inks, so you can spray them and they do give a bit of an effect, but nowhere near like the oxides. Oh, fabulous! You're coloring in this book as well. Lovely. What page are you coloring? So this grey is the storm dust. I think I am going to go over some of this with pencil. But it is a nice way of just getting some paint down, some color on the page, get an idea of where your shadows should be. Oh, cool. I haven't colored that page. I just started working in this book, and I'm currently doing the budgie and I think it's like parakeet or lovebird page. And I'm using Prismacolor pencils and Black Widows on that. Oh, fabulous. I'd love to see your page. Thank you. I actually saw on Pinterest a beautiful version of one of the Rhapsody in the Forest pages. It was the page with the book and then a circle with a flying horse. It was so well done. I was very impressed to actually see how they did it. Do I ever feel like I don't have anything to color when you have books galore to choose from? Yes, all the time. Why do you think I have so many whips? Okay, I'm going to move on to a bit of this wall. Let's see how we can do this. So I'm going to use the same sort of technique. All right, I'm going to use tan to color everything in between. So that will be my first layer. And then I'll go in over with some more pencils. I'm really hoping by doing it this way, it will also, one, it gives it like more variety, and two, I'm hoping that the coloring kind of goes a little bit faster. I get so torn because I want to color faster and then I don't. Or I get absorbed in the layers and the techniques. And yeah. Very, very interesting experience. The challenge I find with Inktense is knowing how hard of a pressure to put and when to ease up, because I've done it before in the past where I've used the Inktense and it's turned out really great, except I haven't had enough contrast between my darks and my lights. Oh, I saw Lana Green has a new book coming out. Lana Green has amazing portraits. She really is such a talented artist. The other thing, like I'm going back to AI, the problem I've also got with AI generated artwork is they don't do hands very well. It looks really weird. So I don't want to like spend money on those sort of things where certain proportions are out of joint, and anyway, all that sort of stuff. All right, so here the grass line is kind of coming to here, so we can bring this down. Maybe I should add in my about page for the channel that I don't do AI generated coloring pages, you know, like promote that. That's amazing, Kenny. You've got so many Lana Green portraits. Have you colored in much of them? I'm just thinking quickly. I think I might do some oak. Let's get some oak. Oak, oak, oak. There it is. And then I think I'm going to throw in a couple of touches here and there of Willow. And hopefully that will give it just a different color. Gosh, it's amazing how much Lana Green just promotes her work so well. I don't buy her pictures, not because I don't like them, but because I normally just don't get around to coloring any to coloring them. But we'll get there. I just haven't colored portraits in a while, actually. Right, so just building it all up. So I'm just alternating between oak, willow, and tan. All right, let's have a look and see if we wet this. How does it turn out? Does Christine Karen still do, what do you call it? Sorry, my brain is really tired today. Freebies or more on her Patreon, because I remember last year it was quite quiet. She didn't do too much. Right, so it's a definite thing with this paper. It doesn't like a lot of water. So it creates bubbles. So how in depth do you think a wall should be? Do you think it should have a lot of color, or do you think it should look a bit more washed out and focus be more on bricks? Oh yes, absolutely. It is a great effect for the stonework. I suppose it gives that lateral texture. So if you bought the English version of this book, is that because it can take a bit more water than the original version? Okay, I think I finally saw what this bit here is. I was looking and looking in this area and thinking, what is going on here? I think I found it. Okay, you haven't tried water yet. I must say, this paper takes Inktense a lot better than the Romantic Country books. I don't like using Inktense on there. Although maybe if I tried Inktense on smaller areas, it might work a bit better. But when I used Inktense on the Romantic Country books as a background, I had to go over it with a pencil. And even then I didn't get it as polished as it should be. So with Romantic Country, I tend to really focus more on pencil work instead of mixed media. And then scratch my head in absolute befuddlement when I see other people putting pictures up of these, incredible works of arts, and they use Romantic Country with watercolors and neocolors, and I'm like, how did you do that? Oh, okay, so the paper loves pencils more than the other paper. Fair enough. I have found when I use Black Widows on this paper, it's all right, I've established Black Widows and layering don't really work. So I find on this particular paper I can do almost a quicker coloring than, yeah, and it still looks pretty. Which is quite nice because sometimes I do want to color quickly and not worry too much about details and layers and all of that. So I quite like this. It's looking really nice. It's wonderful that you're getting the romantic country the first tale. I totally understand not wanting to post so your husband doesn't see your stories. I want to get the third tale. I don't have the third tale yet, so I'm quite keen to try the third tale. All right, I'm going to do bricks here, here, and here. So I'm just going to bring in some of this background just because I want these bricks kind of sealed off. And then I'll do those bricks, and then we can do the trees here in pencil. And maybe we can move on to some of the flowers and maybe a duck or two. We'll just play around. Oh, wow, yeah. I can imagine that they're expensive in Brazil. Shipping is really a big factor when it comes to buying all these beautiful coloring supplies. Sometimes the shipping costs are more expensive than the book itself. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I wanted to do was not use Fern. I was going to use Baked Earth, Burnt Umber, Madder Brown, Natural Brown. So I was going to make these like dark brown with muted tones in it. Yeah, buying little by little makes sense. Just build up slowly. going to put very lightly some amber. So I'm going to try and make these bricks a little bit varied, so they're not too the same. Oh, you're not talking too much, it's nice. If I go quiet too long, let me know. I get a bit caught up in what I'm doing and I go quiet. So on the weekend I went out with some other homeschool moms and we went to a Korean restaurant, which was really, really lovely. And it was a bit tricky for me because I'm gluten-free, as I think I've mentioned before. So being gluten-free and eating out can be a bit tricky at times, but I was able to come right with a really, really lovely dish, and it was like a rice dish with some vegetables, an egg, fried egg, and it had a lovely sauce in it and a bit of a broth. And it came in this really hot pan, so I think it actually kept cooking, and it had a nice spicy sticky sauce. So I put that on. I was absolutely happy because it was all nice and spicy, and I like spicy food. Right, so yeah, I'm trying to work out how I want to do this. I think I'm going to bring in some gray in here. Maybe make this one a bit gray. Just playing around with these. I don't want to have my bricks yellow on yellow, so I don't mind there being some yellow in it. I do want them to kind of stand out. Oh, your stomach doesn't like spicy food. That's a shame. I love spicy. When I was pregnant with one of the boys, I used to buy Nando's peri peri sauce by the bottle, and I would pretty much put it on just about everything. And then my firstborn, I would eat hot spicy curry. I had at least one a week, and we used to joke that my son would be born half Indian because I enjoyed the spice and curry so much. And I always joke and say I was born in the wrong cuisine. I should have been born in like Middle Eastern, Asian type cuisine, you know, because I've got a strong palate for that style of cuisine. So I just joke around. I try and do lives every Monday, yes, at the same time, so 8 p.m. London time. Oh, spicy salsa is delicious. That's the other thing, spicy nachos and with cheese. I also quite like that. And guacamole as well. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. All right, let's see if we put water on this, how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna probably need to go over this with pencil. I won't need to go over all of it with pencil, maybe just build in some shadows. Or just define it a bit more. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for turning on notifications, and Kali, I'm glad you like how it's turning out. I might just do the bricks this way and see at the end when I've done a bit more on the page if it needs more attention. Oh, thank you. I think what really helps is the watercolor effect. It makes it look a bit more realistic than if I used pencil. Oops, I've gone quiet again. I am so sorry. It's very easy to kind of get into a zone. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry, and I think what I'm going to do now is let's do a few leaves and flowers. So I'll use my black widows, and we can pick up a few colors there. How do I pick the color palettes? That is an excellent question. I normally do research before I start a page. So I will find the page I want to color on Instagram, or I'll go look on Pinterest, and I will then watch to see how other people have interpreted the same illustration. And sometimes, like with the bricks and the stone wall, I really wanted to get a clearer idea of how to color it and what sort of colors people were using. So then I go looking for what I've got in mind, and from there I'm able to work out sort of the colors in as I go. So I knew I wanted to do the flower pots, that like stone, whitish grey stone color, but I knew I wanted terracotta plants, pot plants here. So I needed something that could pull that in, and that's when I started to realize it. I was going for yellow, browns, bits of reds. but I needed to go watch a couple of videos and look at a few pictures to see how to piece it all together. And then that was as far as I've gone with the colors so far, except greens for leaves and the grass, and then yellow ducklings. So it's sometimes I get a clear idea in my head, and other times I kind of improvise as I go along. So I want to use olive greens in the scorpion set, and then I'm looking for a Fang green in the spider set, which is eluding me right now. Wait, hang on, I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Right, so I'm going to use Fang green. And then I'm going to use olive green. Oh, wait, hang on. I did that the wrong way around. Oopsie. I did that all backwards. Oh my goodness. Okay, olive green. I was looking at it and thinking, oh, that is just too dark. What am I doing? I'd gone and done the colors the wrong way around. So just quickly erase it and work it out again. Yeah, Pinterest is amazing to get ideas and see how you want to do things. I really like researching, and I really appreciate people's colorings, because sometimes I'll see a color palette I really like, and you know, even if the way the person colored the page might not be what I'm looking for, the colors might be what I'm looking for. So it's always inspiring. Yes, exactly. We look at how people have done the same page. That's the beauty of the coloring community. We can share ideas with each other, and we just never know how much inspiration our pictures can bring to other people. lovely, you're in autumn. That's such beautiful coloring colors and palettes that you can use. Excuse me. I love autumn and spring for the beautiful colors, and then I love the warmth of summer. I find when I don't know how to color something, I'll actually move away from it and come back to it. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave those flowers, sorry, not flowers, leaves. I'm going to leave those leaves, and I'm going to try find a different combination and come down here. No, I need to think. So I've got green at the top, terracotta, yellow. Maybe we make these, I don't want to do them yellow on yellow. We could possibly do them a purpley color. What flowers do you think these are? I'm not very good with flowers. I think, yeah, not too good with flowers. So I wondered if this was maybe a, I don't know, maybe it's a bluebell. Doesn't look right though. Cone flowers. Oh, okay. Right, so now I'm going to quickly do a Google search. Oh, those are pretty. Okay, so we could do them pink with almost like a reddish brown center. Okay. Okay, you're saying these ones are pansies. That's going to be fun. pansies. I suppose we could do all sorts of colors for pansies. Okay, we'll do coneflowers first, and then we'll see how it goes. So what we're looking at is pinks. Lightish to dark pinks. So now I'm checking my swatches to kind of gauge what shade of pink I want to start off with. I quite like pig's ears, and then delicious pink. I've got a no, delicious pink's not going to work. Dragon. Okay, let's see. I need none of those. This is hilarious. All the ones that bring out aren't going to work. Okay, we could use a crimson stone and a Shiraz. Use Shiraz, but then I want a darker color, so maybe an evil red, and yeah, I'll bring in some dark browns. No, I think what I'm going to do instead is go to the Prismacolors, and I'm going to get out a mahogany red. Actually, a black raspberry might work better. Okay, let's see. Have a good day, Mabe. Thanks for your time and for chatting with us. Have a good week. So this one is Pig's Ear in the Scorpion set. Okay, now I'm going to use Crimson Stone. Such pretty flowers. I could possibly go over it with some paint pens at the end. Then I want the Shiraz and just really deepen this up. What I'll try and do is go back down and see if we can just deepen the color a little bit more. So I'll go back down to the Crimson Stone. Could possibly even use a pink gel pen along the edges. Hi Carol, how are you? Thanks for joining, it's great to have you. Now I want a little bit of spring green. And then a sepia, Prismacolor sepia. Okay, then for the leaves, I think I'm going to do a, let's have a look. So I can use a Black Widow Sapphire with a turquoise. I always find it so tricky to find all these colors. Okay, got turquoise and now I need the sapphire. And there it is. Okay. So that's my other challenge, is getting the color contrast, you know, so that my leaves don't end up blending into each other. I find almost green harder, because with the leaves there's often so many different shades of green, and to get them all to still be cohesive and work together without losing anything, I find that quite tricky. I think it's just a lack of practice. So if I practice doing pictures with a lot of leaves and flowers, I think I'll get the hang of it and interpret it a bit better. So it's just a learning curve, really. So we're starting to get somewhere. I don't think that is too bad. Looks a little bit bright, but anyway, it's not too bad. So now I'm going to swap over to, I think, Prismacolors, because I want to deepen up these vases, and I really like the greys in the Prismacolor set. I feel like I can get more out of them. So I'm going to use a 50% warm grey. And then I've got, I think it's a 10% warm grey. And I think what I'm going to do is get a little bit of lime peel. Oopsie daisy, it fell right out of my pencil extender. And I'm using that 10% grey to help me blend, because it's fun. So the 50% warm grey is just for shadows, and then I just blend it out. So that's already looking much better. So using Inktense really does help to just speed up this sort of process in some ways, and in other ways it actually doesn't speed anything up. Thank you, Noelle. Hi, Brittany. I'm trying to remember whether those stone or statue-like pots are more on the white side or if they're more on the grey side. I quite like the green woven into the pot. It just makes it look a little bit more lifelike. But what I'm thinking of doing is using, it's like a parrot green, so it's a bit more on here, it's a bit more bluey green. And I don't want too much because I want it a little bit scattered. I just want to make this pot a bit different to that one. All right, let's blend it out with that 10% warm grey and see what do we get. This is the 30% warm grey. So definitely don't want it too white because it's more grey than it is white. I'm trying to make sure I keep this a little bit rough, so it has a bit more texture than a smooth stone. I don't think it's too bad, and at least they're slightly different to each other. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. Okay, so those are done. Now I'm thinking of going to do, these are different here, so maybe we'll do the ducks, but I'll use Prismacolors for the ducks because I'm more comfortable with their colors. So I will use a goldenrod. And I think I'm just going to find it now. I need a specific color. Oh dear. Okay, yellow ochre, goldenrod yellow ochre, some jasmine, some cream, and then I think it might be a beige. Let's see, I don't think so, no. Oh, and a sand. I don't use sand too much. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the flower pots. Okay, so I'm going to go lightest to dark. So cream. I love fluffy yellow ducklings. And then I'm going to do my sand. I find sometimes it's tricky to know when to do texture on these little animals and when to leave it alone. I think these are quite sweet and cute, so I'll probably get away with not doing too much texture. and then goldenrod. Yeah, this paper I find doesn't take a lot of layers, or I'm or I'm coloring it wrong. It's one of the two. Either I'm right about the paper or it's a user problem. They're super cute. Oh my goodness. Such cute little ducks. But yeah, this paper is not going to take much more. It's saying, I'm done, I'm done. Okay, and then what we need is like pink salmon for the beak and a bit of orange. We can do their little footsies, little webbed feet. We can use a pumpkin orange. And a bit of orange. So those are the ducklings. And then I can come up to these little sections here, and we can do these. Now what we could do is use an Inktense pencil for that, and I think that could work quite well. So I've got too many coloring stuffs out. So I would probably do a lime green, an apple green, and possibly a leaf green, maybe even a fern green. So this one is the lime green. And then I'll use my apple green. And then this is Fern. And then again, if I need to, I will use pencils on top just to add texture or deepen it up. So yeah, I think with this one, this makes a nice base layer, and then I will go over it with pencil when it's dry. Oh wow, you've used ChromaFlow, Inktense and Artex. That's so cool. And how did you enjoy the ChromaFlow and the Artex pencils? Brittany, I'm not planning on getting the ChromaFlow yet. I want to just focus on what I've got so long. Hi Melissa, how are you? Now I am going to do a base of that fern green. I want to put that in the grass. So because this paper doesn't seem to like a lot of layers, if I do a base layer on the grass, then I can go over it when it's dry. Possibly next week, Monday, we can do the grass and I'll add in all the textures and shadows and all of that. But I think it will be helpful to do a base layer. Oh, lovely. Okay, that's great to know that the Chroma Flow work and the Artex works well. And what are your thoughts on the Artex? Oh wow, I didn't know that about the Artex, that they worked quite well on tanned or grey paper. I've heard that about Prismacolor. Okay, so you like the Artex for more difficult papers. Well, that's helpful to know as well. Okay, cool. Amazon paper and the like. heard some good reviews about the Inktense pencils. Quite a few people say they are quite similar to Prismas. Okay, let's activate this. So if you want to create smooth with your Inktense, you just need to work quite quickly. And I find circular motions help a bit as well. You're rehoming your Inktense. They're really great pencils. I don't use them anywhere near enough, to be honest. I sometimes have to remind myself to use them. I think I default too much to just straight pencil work. And I think that Inktense, when we use Inktense or all our other pencils, I don't know, I think sometimes it can help us a lot more. It's the same with markers. I think there's a place for markers, but I would rather use markers as a base than straight coloring, unless I tried alcohol marker paper. Which I am keen to one day do, is actually buy some alcohol marker paper and then photocopy a coloring page onto alcohol marker paper and then see the difference the paper makes. So that is all done now. I'm going to zoom out because I need to stop. I'm getting a bit sleepy. It's been a bit of a long day, but let me zoom you out so you can see how it's looking, and by no means is it done. But yeah, there you go. So not too bad. I think what I'll do is I will do the rest of the brickwork and some of the grass off camera. Fingers crossed I actually get to some coloring this weekend and even this week. So thank you for hanging out with me, and it's always so much fun, and I really enjoy chatting to you guys and coloring with you. I'm gonna love and leave you. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next week, Monday, same time, same place. I know it's only 10:30. It's gonna take me another hour to get to bed and actually fall asleep, because I'll go have a cup of coffee, then I'll go read in bed, and then eventually fall asleep or just crash. So yeah, I'm a bit of an early bird. Thanks everyone. Have a lekker week. South African stuff is coming out there. Have a good week and see you next week. Bye for now.